Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining this webinar. I'm really excited to be running this new project. It's all happening quite organically. The more I'm going into it, the more I'm sharing it, the more I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that's an aspect of it. So it's quite exciting. I will be trying to be as brief as possible in this webinar so that everything's clear. And then if there's any questions, we'll leave that open at the end, or anything else, you can just drop me an email. So what I'll do is I'm going to go through the PDF brochure that I've put on my website. If you go to nainaayurveda.org, there's a section Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And if you click on that, there is a button you can press called Download Brochure. So everything's in there if you would like to go there. Okay. So this is the opening page. So the word, the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, I thought I needed an umbrella term for what I'm offering. And let me just give you a bit of background information on it. So I planned to do something in India towards the end of the year anyway, as you guys know, something to do with the Swara course. Um, and so when I went to India this time, I thought I had it in my mind to look for a potential place for us and maybe plan a little bit of it. So I ended up staying, the place where I'm staying. It just so happens that that whole entire cottage where I was staying looked like a good venue to host the more experiences for people. So it's owned by a lovely family who own a couple of properties in that area, and they've called that business Ganga Kripa Manors. So they're really well maintained cottages. I'll talk about the location as we go through the brochure. But my experience of being or staying there was that it felt like I was a family member. And so I thought that's a lovely feeling to carry through for anybody that might want to visit Rishikesh as well. And so that's where this idea came from, to call it as something as, a family. The world is one family. So the actual esoteric meaning of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is more of an expansion of consciousness so that we learn to treat or view everybody in the same level of love and acceptance as we would our own family, which is a very beautiful expression. And that's kind of the goal that we want to get to. So the deeper meaning would be that we move beyond our conditioning to think that we are just our biological body, and to think that our family are the only people that we are connected to, our biological family. But in reality, if we follow the Vedantic teachings that we are all one and the body is just the costume, we are all one family because we're all connected. So it's a very beautiful expression. Yeah, that's just a bit about the title. Okay, and then the opening page, I've just given a little bit of background about the whole project. So it came from this idea that I wanted to share with people an experience of Rishikesh, but also blend in anything that I can offer within the scope of time that I now have with a baby on board. So I thought we could blend it in and I could offer myself in this setting where we're like a family. So we'll plan the day as it comes, make it more organic. And I really see this as a more feminine and fluid way to operate retreats. It's a little bit different. So normally, with a retreat, we are so used to this classical style where it's very structured. There's set things, set activities, and it's decided mostly by the people leading the retreat. You get your favorite teachers, etc., leading them. Whereas I won't be able to offer that at this particular time. And so I thought, okay, let's try and do it differently. Let's make it a collective. So whoever wants to come, they might have something to offer the group, which they might want to mention, and then we can plan to do it that evening or in a couple of days or whatever. And so that in that way, it makes everybody almost a leader, you could say, in what we decide to do with our days. But also it allows a more fluid and flexible, open aspect to retreats, which I thought was quite different. But I thought, let's try it. Let's try it out and see what happens. So you can have a read of that more on the PDF. Okay, so Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is a series of stays, basically. So we have a whole cottage for 3 months. Okay, you can stay as long as you want or as short as you want. I think minimum actually, I would say a week. I don't think people would come for less than a week anyway. So you're welcome to come for any time period throughout those 3 months, but there are particular themes that will be running per month that you might be more interested to come for that particular month. Okay, so the first theme that I'm running is something called Spiritual Sanskars, which is going to be, the cottage will be for parents and kids. So if you know anybody that might want to do this, I do understand how worrying it can be taking a child to India. I took Booby when she was 3 months, so it can be a little bit unnerving. But the reason I felt really safe was because I stayed in this cottage. So Gangavatika is a gated complex. So not anybody can just walk in there. So it's completely safe. You've got gardens where you can take the stroller and you can walk around with the kids. The kids can play in the green and it's completely safe. So even at night, it doesn't matter if you're out. Okay, so this safety aspect I felt was really important if you're bringing children. It's also incredibly quiet there as well. So if you have got young ones that need to go to sleep, it's going to be really good for them too. Another aspect of it, it's very, very clean, exceptionally clean. So Gangavatika as a residential complex in Rishikesh, it's more of the, I wouldn't say high end, but it's a nicer part of Rishikesh to stay in. To be able to stay in that complex it's a very nice opportunity, you could say. And so the cleanliness level of the places that you'll stay will be very good. So you'll have the rooms cleaned for you too. The kitchen will be there, so you'll be able to see how everything's being cooked, you know. So that worry of getting ill or lack of cleanliness, safety, quietness, all of this is covered in somewhere like Gangavatika. In terms of what spiritual sanskars actually is, it will, again, you know, it'll be an organic thing, but it might be quite nice to see where we can bring the kids into the activities that we might perhaps do if we went to Rishikesh. So, for example, you know, going for a Ganga dip, maybe going to the Aartis, going to the local bookshop, and there's cafes there as well. If you want to take the kids out for a day, we can go on day trips, or we can also stay at home because obviously with kids, there are days where it's just easier to stay at home. And so, you know, your meals will be cooked for you 3 times a day. Obviously, you can wake up and get ready whenever you want, whenever the kids get ready, go down, walk to the Ganga. So the Ganga is within walking distance of this place, Gangavatika. So that's a plus point. And then throughout the day, you know, if you want to do any activity with the kids, any painting or anything, we can go to the market and get what we need and come back and do it in the afternoon. We can build the kind of activities that we want to do. We can get some instruments maybe and do some singing and kirtan with the kids, or whatever comes up in the collective. I just thought it would be a nice idea for us to do that. And for the parents, you know, you might get some time for yourself. If not, you might get time to bond with the kids and do things that you don't normally do, and take that time. And anything else, havans ceremonies as well, we could perhaps do for the kids. That might be quite nice for them to do. And then create wonderful memories. So spiritual sanskars, you know, if you do want to put into the children good habits and teach them, it will be a nice way for them to get immersed into a certain lifestyle. You know, I can get a yoga teacher that can do regular classes if I can't give any yoga classes myself, or meditation for the kids, or, you know, even as parents, we can have circles where we discuss certain conscious parenting things and, you know, whatever. I was thinking one evening it would be nice to do birth story sharing amongst women. That would be quite a nice activity to do. So that's spiritual sanskars for September. But the costs there as well. So it's per week per double room. So if you come with a person, or in one room, you can fit 2 kids and 2 adults in a double bed in India. The beds are massive. I don't know if anybody, those that you've been to India, the beds are huge. Even like a normal double bed, it's massive. So, you know, because all the family normally sleep in the bed there. So if you're coming with kids, you can probably get two. I would say two kids under 5 at least, and two adults in one bed if you want. If you want to, there is also space. I can organize like a small camp bed or something if you really need it for the room too. But per room, it's £500 for the week. Now that includes all food as well. So if you have 2 people, it's 250 each if you split the price, which is quite reasonable. Okay, for a nice room with your meals cooked 3 times a day and activities, it's quite a nice offer. And then you've got, so included in that, you've got your accommodation, all food. I will put an airport transfer in there to and from Dehradun Airport, not from Delhi. Okay, so that's from Dehradun. I'll talk about the travel later. And then if we do any activities, we'll include that too. You know, if we decide to go on any day trips or anything like that, it will just be a cost for the Tempo vehicle, which we can cover for that. And obviously we'll facilitate you going to the Ganga Aartis, etc. Okay, so that's the one for kids. If you know anybody that might be want to join. If you'd want to come for that month and you don't have kids, that's also fine too. Don't feel that you can't come if you don't have kids for September. You know, it'll be interesting to see how the house fills up and changes over the 3 months. No, why can't I go along? Hmm. Okay, now October in India and in here, any time of the year. October we have Navratri, one of the Navratris we celebrate across 9 nights, which will be this year from the 3rd to 11th of October. And I've invited Gaia from Gaia Sanskrit, Gabriella. I met her when I studied Sanskrit in my Ayurveda course, and she's amazing. If anybody listens to her music, you'll know it. She's got a very, very lovely voice, and she's incredibly talented at chanting and also doing almost guided meditation chanting sessions with people. So I'm really looking forward to having her for these 9 nights. It'll be beautiful. I'm most excited, I think, about this one because I've got so many ideas of what we can do. It will be really fun. I'm hoping to make it it's almost like a women's retreat, you could say, for this one. So, you know, we can go down to the Ganga and sing and do chanting. We've also got roof terraces where we're staying, so we can also gather on the rooftops at night and do that there. But we can also, you know, paint the Shakti mantras as well. We can do a meditation of painting them so you can learn them, then we can chant them perhaps and really embody the sound of those. To make it quite fun, I thought I don't mind teaching everybody how to wear a sari if you want to, you know, get dressed up in Indian traditional dress, and just go more into that feminine side of things. We can do mehendi on our hands. There is also something called garba, which is a dance that you do in a big circle around a deity around this particular night. For 9 nights, women do that. It's a Gujarati folk dance. So I grew up doing something like that. And I thought it would be really nice to do that together with some women. Maybe we can even go down to Ganga and organize it. We'll see how it all comes out. So yeah, we'll see what comes out from these 9 nights. Gabriella and I are planning it all at the moment, but there is so much we can do in those 9 days. If you really want to take it very seriously, you can also do some fasting across these 9 nights and take it as like a real devotional tapasya time. You can visit to the mother goddess temples. So in Uttarakhand, where Rishikesh is, there are something called Shakti Peeths. Shakti Peeths all over India. So if anybody knows about the story of Shiva and Sati, she threw herself into a fire. This was Shiva's first wife, Sati. So she threw herself in, this is a mythological story. She threw herself into a fire, and he was so upset that he went down, picked her up, and tried to carry the body back down to the south, I believe. Yes, I think so. Sorry, don't know the story absolutely fully. But anyway, parts of her body dropped in particular places, and they are called Shakti Peeths. And so these places are worshipped, and there's about there's a good nearly 4 or 5 very famous ones in Uttarakhand. So we can visit a few of those, and they've got a lot of energy there. It's a lot of energy. So we can visit those. So there's body parts of Sati in each of their places called Shakti Peeths. So maybe we can go there as a group and do some chanting. We'll see. This one is a little bit more costly because obviously we're housing Gabriella, and she's a very special guest. So it's 1,150 for 9 nights with her. Okay, and it will be absolutely worth that money. I'm going to make sure that those 9 nights are going to be really fun. I'm hoping to get a little photographer as well, and maybe, you know, do a bit of dress up like a goddess. There's lots of costume stuff that you can do in Rishikesh, like you can get trishawls and stuff. So we can maybe do a little bit of a photo shoot, or, you know, some fun stuff. Just get creative and maybe build up that feminine energy within ourselves, and come back feeling stronger and more connected. That's another page on that one. Okay, now November is all about Ayurveda. So I'm going to just save any confusion here. You can get Ayurvedic treatment at any time, September, October, or November. You don't have to just do it in November. But if you do decide to have it in November and come for that, I will be putting more effort into activities related to Ayurveda. So, you know, if there's time, I would love to do short courses, talks, maybe some cooking classes, or as you're getting your treatments, we can have discussions in the evenings about certain topics, how medicines work, and make it a real interactive experience for your treatment. I'll also be on hand to do more consultations for that time period. It's not to say that I won't be at hand if you choose to do Ayurvedic treatment for the other months. I would say for the Navratri retreat, I probably won't be, I wouldn't say to do it then. But any other time in November, if you decided to visit, I still would be on hand if you wanted it, but it won't be as intense. Okay, so because of this extra service, it's going to be 600 per week to stay there. This doesn't include the cost of the Ayurvedic treatment. Okay, so this includes your stay and your food, which I will speak to the doctors and make sure that your food is suited to your treatments if you're getting them. Otherwise, it will be tridoshic sattvic meals that you'll be having. I'll talk about that in a moment. And again, all airport transfers and activities. So the way that it would work is that there is a clinic called Mamgain Ayurvedic Clinic. I know the couple. If anybody knows Swami Rama, he had a hospital, the Himalaya Institute in Rishikesh, that became very popular for treatments, and he had a Panchakarma center there. And Mr. and Mrs. Mamgain were running that Panchakarma department in that hospital. So they are very well known. They also teach Ayurveda in some of the yoga schools in Rishikesh as well. So their clinic is a little bit outside of where we're staying. So when you get treatment, you will get a lift. We'll arrange a car for you to drop you to the clinic and then come back again as well on the same day. Okay, and the cost of that would be 1 week, £405. And 2 weeks of treatment will be 720. This also includes a pre-consultation with them as well, because I've got to plan all the therapies for you before you arrive. Okay, any medicines will not be charged in that, so you'd have to pay for them separately. But trust me, medicine in India is really cheap in Rishikesh. A good quality one as well. I would say really cheap, cheaper than what we might pay here. Okay, so it wouldn't be so much. Don't worry, we'll get that all arranged for you when we're there. So that's the Ayurveda clinic. Okay, this is our location. That's our cottage there, if you can see. There's a green square on my screen. I think that means that you don't see the bottom, maybe. Anyway, you'll be able to see it on the brochure. So you can see on the top there, that's our entrance down there. And on the top, there's the 2 rooms. So there are 2 rooms that have balconies. The ground floor room doesn't have a balcony, and the very top floor room doesn't have a balcony, but you'll have access to that terrace at the top. And this is the lovely little porch area we've got as well. Okay, this is the complex. A little sneak peek. You can see the Ganga there. So on the top of the roof terraces, you have a beautiful view of Ganga. You can hear the Aarti going on every evening, and you can hear all the temples. It's amazing, and the sky is just incredible. And that's our living room area in the cottage. There's lovely gardens in the complex with loads of lovely flowers. This is the roof terrace from the apartment where I'll be staying. So within the complex, there is the cottage, and then there's an apartment where me, Boovi, my partner, will be staying, plus whoever wants the Boovi pass. The room is there with me in the apartment. So there's 2 bedrooms in the apartment where I'm staying. But obviously that apartment will also be open for people to come and go. Like I say, it's a family thing. So we'll also do events and things in that apartment too. That's the big roof terrace we've got on the top of that one. One of the kitchens. So kitchens in both apartments are really big, open plan. That's a living room we've got there. These are the bedrooms. Okay, so lovely, clean, large double beds you can see there. Each one has its own bathroom with hot water. Really lovely and clean. Okay, so when it comes to booking, the pricing has been done per room per week. Okay, so that gives you 3 options. Come on your own and pay the full lot to have your room for yourself. Come with someone, and then you can split the cost with them. Or come on your own, and then I'll pair you up with someone if you want to share. That's the other option there. Okay, so you can let me know what you might prefer. That's a little bit about it. That's me and Booby in the gardens when I went there. That's the roof terrace. You can see that lovely view of the sunrise and the sunset from the terrace. It's really magical. It's lovely. Food. Oh, Booby's getting a bit restless. Okay, so food. So this is Manmohan. He's our lovely cook that we're going to have. He was cooking for me when I was staying there, when I went, and his food is amazing. And that's coming from, from where I've moved away from that very dense, heavy, spicy Indian food. I really like Sattvic, fresh, cooked food, and he does it amazingly well. And he listens really attentively when you have certain requests as well. So I'll be curating a menu for him to be making the meals, but we're going to have the open kitchen. So, if you want to make something, or if you want to ask him to make something, you can. All right, so all meals are going to be freshly made. We'll use local ingredients. If you want to even go to the market one day, we can all choose some vegetables and make it whatever we want, basically. Okay, there'll be all vegetarian meals without egg, and we will use dairy though. But any kind of adjustments that you need, we'll try our best to cater to them. Okay, excursions and activities. Oh, hold on a minute. I'm just going to pause and just tend to Boovie a moment. I'm just going to pause the recording. Won't be a minute, ladies, okay? I'm just going to give Boovie a little cuddle and then come back. Okay, sorry about that. Where were we? Food. Okay, so as I mentioned, the activities will be open. You can choose to stay at home at the cottage if you want to rest, or if you want to go and explore Rishikesh, we can help you with that. But what we'll do is we'll probably have some kind of board, you know, in the lounge area. So over breakfast, we'll say like, you know, this is happening today. Those that want to join, it's going to be at this time. If not, you might say, I'm just going to head out into the town. I'll be back at lunch. Oh, is it not recording? Oh, wait, I think it is recording. Should be. Thank you, Alex, though. Yeah, you can, you know, decide what you want to do on that day. Each week we will arrange a trip to the Ganga Aarti, and we've got lovely access to the front row area. If anyone's seen the famous Aarti in Rishikesh on the Ganga, it's probably going to be the most profound experience. Everybody seems to have a big opening when they go to the Aarti for the first time, because it's just so beautiful to experience it. So we will do a weekly trip for that, because obviously as new people are coming, everyone will get a chance to do it. And then once a week we'll try and do one visit somewhere. There's lots to see in Rishikesh, like the Shakti Peeds. There's a cave of Vashisht. There's waterfalls, there's all sorts of things. And if you really want to, we can even arrange a little bit of a 2 to 3 day trip into the mountain. If you want to go and visit some villages or stay in the mountain, you can also do that. At the cottage, I think I will be at the cottage most of the time, obviously, because I'll be with baby, and whoever's with the booby pass. So we'll be doing stuff there too. Painting, meditation, yoga, discussions. You can sit and watch a bit of TV sometimes if you want, you know, and whatever you decide or whatever you feel like doing, we can see what the collective is going to bring up. Okay. Okay. And these are some activities I thought as an example of what we might want to do. You can have a look at those. Navratri, I think I mentioned a lot of them, and Ayurveda as well, classes and everything like that. Right, this is the calendar. I think this is probably the confusing part for people, is understanding it in a more practical way. So, you know, the whole thing is open, but as you can see, the colored areas are where there's specific kind of themes. But it doesn't mean that you also can't come in the blank spaces. You can, if you want to. I just won't be giving anything within a specific theme, but I will be there. Obviously, I'll be around. So you can also come in that time too. I do think, yeah, this will be a busy time if you want to come for Diwali, just to warn you. Uh, if you do think about that, there might be a lot of traffic and loudness, but fun as well. It's, you know, the New Year in India. So yeah, on the next page, I've explained that. Okay, so spiritual sanskars, if you want to come, that's the cost between those dates. Navratri costs, and then you've got the Ayurveda one. And then in the white there, you can see the in-between periods. Okay, so you can come and stay for that time. And it's £35 a night for that. Okay, this is the Booby Pass. So obviously I will need help to look after Booby during the trip. So you're welcome to be that person if you want to be. You'll also be like an assistant, so my extra pair of hands. You'll be staying with me in the apartment. Oh dear. Oh, sorry. Okay, baby, this is what Mummy's doing. Mm. And look, we're talking about your past. Okay, so this is the little one you will be helping me. You just have to give her a cuddle sometimes. But really, it's not like I'm going to leave you to be the nanny. It's more like you'll be walking around with me, and if I need someone to hold her or do something, they can hold you. Okay? She won't really be leaving Mummy though. You won't be leaving me as such. You'll just be my extra pair of hands. So if you want to apply for that, just give me a message. Your fee for the what we've been talking about on here will be waived. So you'd only have to pay for the flight and your visa to come over, but your accommodation and food will be taken care of. Okay, so that's the booby pass. Oh dear. Okay, that's about it really. I think boobies come at the right time as we close up. I'll do another webinar in May once I've done a bit more promotion around it. So just let me know if you do want to go ahead with it, and if you've got any more other questions, just let me know. It's very open, it's going to be very organic. If you do want to join, there's the payment link. You can just give me a deposit and send me over your dates, and I'll get you booked in there. Okay, if you've got questions about traveling to Rishikesh specifically, oh bless you, you can also just write to me. You have to get to Dehradun, Dehradun. That's the nearest airport. So from Delhi, when you arrive on an international flight, you can get a taxi to Dehradun, or you can get an internal flight. It's very easy. The internal flight's about 45 minutes it's like a bus. So it's very close. The taxi takes about 4 to 6 hours to Dehradun. Okay, from Delhi. So that's the travel. The weather, just to mention the weather, it's going to be more on the chilly side if you're coming in November, but September is beautiful. The Ganga is very blue. I mean, the Ganga's blue throughout all this period, but it gets a little bit more chilly in November. December, it's more really cold, but it's a lovely time to visit India at Rishikesh because it's cool but sunny. So you'll have a really great time. Okay, installment plans also available for payments. Okay, so you can choose to pay it off monthly if you want to. And yeah, just give me a message, write me an email, what you have in mind to join. It's basically like an open cottage. And I'd love to welcome you all there. Okay, I hope Booby hasn't put anyone off the Booby pass. She's a little bit antic now because she wants to go to sleep. So I'm going to put her to sleep now. Oh, all right. Well, I'm going to end it there. Stop share. I would love for you to join me this year in India. If you can't, also keep it in your mind, you know, if this is a success, we can keep it going. And it could almost be like your little home when you come to Rishikesh. So if you've got a spiritual seeking side to yourself, you know, you can always come. You know, if you've got a particular course that you want to do, just come and stay there. And then, you know, we can have it like a little community place for us that travel to India. It'd be quite nice. So also in Rishikesh, one of the things I noticed was that there's so much happening once you get there. So there is like a WhatsApp group called Events in Rishikesh that has all local kirtans happening, courses, classes, etc. So, you know, once you come to Rishikesh, you can join that WhatsApp group, and there's just so much happening. Right, okay. She said all right, then we'll end it there. And I hope it's been insightful for you, and I look forward to welcome you to Rishikesh. All right. Say good night. Good night, everybody. Bye.